Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the K's Corner podcast. 30-minute NFL, fantasy football, and professional wrestling podcast hosted by me, Kyle Eller. Now, as you can see right off the bat, if you're tuning in on YouTube, things have already changed a little bit. Changed up the angle a little bit, got myself a fancy new monitor, fancy new computer to hopefully help with these uploads. Because if you follow me on Twitter at K's Corner podcast, then you know last week I struggled with the upload. It was a long episode. We went dang near an hour. So thank you if you guys checked that out. And I promise you this week we will be way closer to the 30-minute format. You have my word. It is still preseason, so there's not a whole lot to talk about in the NFL. Some cool things happen, so we'll get there. But for my folks that are here about the big wrestling news, and NFL fans, if you guys haven't heard, CM Punk's back in wrestling. And Summerslam was this weekend. It was awesome. Wrestling is back, so for my wrestling fans only, people that only want the wrestle talk, you know what to do. Go to this time right here. Circle the time. All right. And for NFL fans, here we go. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of preseason football. Nothing real major, anything crazy exciting happened here in week 3 of preseason. My favorite thing that happened in Chicago, we had the Buffalo Bills traveling in, and Mitchell Trubisky goes 20 for 28 with 221 and a touchdown. I mean, no, Trubisky's not a great NFL quarterback. We know that. He's proven that. But it was really funny to see him just torch Chicago. And let's see here. Tua Tagovailoa looks like he showed back up as well. 16 of 23, 183, and 1 touchdown as well. Oh, and if you guys haven't heard the news, the Broncos did it. If you listened to the very first episode, then you heard what I said about the Broncos quarterback battle. I believe that Drew Lock is the one that could kill the team, but could also is the one that could elevate that team to potentially win that division. But I told you that the Broncos would go with Teddy Bridgewater because he's the consistent, you know what you get out of Teddy Bridgewater. And as of 2 minutes ago, it's been announced. Vic Fangio has announced that Teddy Bridgewater has won the quarterback battle and will be starting week 1. Here's what else I predict. By week 6, Drew Lock will be the starting quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater just hasn't done enough to win games. He hasn't lost any games, but he hasn't done enough to win them either. Week 6, Drew Lock will be back under center. But when he does, he'll have a big chip on his shoulder. He'll probably try to force too many balls. He'll throw too many interceptions. Sadly, I think this is a terrible decision. I think Denver's great roster is really at risk of not even making the playoffs. It looks like there's still quarterback battles going on in San Francisco with Trey Lance and Jimmy G. Chicago came out and announced that Andy Dalton has won that job, and I think that's the best decision because, like we talked about, Chicago is not in a position that they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're just not, so there's no need to rush Justin Fields out there. Let it breathe, let it wait, get some more talent around him, let him build. Fantasy-wise this week, something that was really cool to see, Terrence Marshall Jr., rookie receiver for Carolina, balled out again. 3 receptions for 50 yards. This dude is a big play threat. The Panthers also re-signed Robbie Anderson, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot down there with Sam Darnold this year, I think. That offense has potential to be explosive. DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall, Robbie Anderson's a rich man now. So if Sam Darnold is truly an NFL starting quarterback, has the talent to be, the Carolina Panthers are giving him weapons, and I think they're going to give him a playbook to make it happen. I am really excited to see what happens in Carolina. Any other news and noteworthy here? Nothing really groundbreaking other than Travis Etienne. Oh, Travis Etienne. I was never that high on Travis Etienne to start with. He's a good scat back. He does things. He's a very good receiver out of the backfield. He's shifty. But I didn't think that he should win the job over James Robinson to begin with. But this year, it's not going to be a problem because, sadly, Travis Etienne is the first major injury of preseason. He's going to be done for the year, folks. He is on IR along with Carlos Dunlap. They both are on IR and will not be playing football this season. So I have nothing but well wishes, guys. Hope they heal up. But to anybody out there that owns James Robinson in fantasy leagues, or like me, dynasty leagues, you are nothing but smiles. This is great news for us because James Robinson should be the workhorse, should see at least 20 to 25 touches a game. Big, big news for all of us James Robinson owners. And I told you it was going to be short and sweet this week with the NFL talk, guys. That's all I've got for you. Please hit me up on Twitter. If you guys want to engage more on NFL talk, throw me something out there. I want to hear more from you guys. I need to hear more from you guys. One, so I know what content you guys are liking from me. Do you like these short bits or do you like the deep and detailed recaps? Let me know, please. At K's Corner Podcast. You can comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll get back to you. Please, I need the feedback, guys. So please help make the show even better, all right? And if you're just here for NFL only, thank you for tuning in. Do what you like to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends. Tell some of your family if they're cool. I mean, whoever will tune in and watch. So thank you so much for checking out episode 3, my NFL fans. And for wrestling fans, stay tuned because here we go. Now I know I usually start with WWE, but CM Punk is back. CM Punk is back. And if you did not watch Rampage and see that opening segment, go watch it right now. It's all over YouTube. You can find it wherever you want. So many people have put their own videos on there. I am not the biggest CM Punk fan, admittedly. But holy cow, if you didn't react to that moment right there, you don't have a pulse. You're not a professional wrestling fan. Stop watching wrestling now and just quit. Because that was so emotional and so cool to see. His genuine smile just absorbing the CM Punk chants and the pop from Chicago. Wow. That moment in and of itself just gives me all the hope in the world that AEW can grow and will be a competitive number 2 to WWE. And with that said, we're going to dive right into SummerSlam, but the numbers and why people need to pump the brake real quick on AEW. That great CM Punk moment, all of the media buzz, the record-breaking shirt sales that he's created, still only pulled in 1.7 million views. Fantastic numbers. Fantastic progress in such a short time. But let's pump the brakes on thinking that they're leaps and bounds ahead of WWE because SummerSlam still pulled in 5+. So let's pump the brakes there. And on an average, Raw still pulling in over near 2 million, and SmackDown's pulling well over 2 million. So let's pump the brakes on that. But AEW is doing huge things, and that CM Punk, man, that CM Punk return was fantastic. But like I said, SummerSlam was also this weekend. And to their credit, I was mildly surprised by the show. I thought some things could have been better, and I thought some things were done absolutely perfect, and they surprised me with a couple things. So let's just scroll through it. I'm not going to recap every single thing. We're going to just quickly fly through here, because again, I rambled last week, and I know. We had the pre-show match with Big E getting his briefcase back from Baron Corbin. Nothing real major here, but they kicked off the main show with my second favorite WWE story right now. My favorite Raw story right now, and that was RK Bro defeating AJ Styles and Omos to win those tag team titles. And my girlfriend, the moment she loved in this match the most is when Randy and Riddle finally hit the pose in the middle of the ring with the belts. It was pretty cool to see. Good payoff. Babyface Randy's going to be fun to watch for a while, but you know it's not going to last long. The Viper's going to turn, the Viper's going to strike, and I am all here for it. I'm waiting for it to happen again. We had Eva Marie and Alexa Bliss. Biggest takeaway here is that Alexa Bliss is still really good at this Fiend gimmick, and Doudrop is really fun to watch. She actually assisted Alexa Bliss here, helping Alexa Bliss win, defeating Eva Marie, and then after the match, she got on the microphone and actually announced the loser, Eva Marie. Thought it was funny, playing off on the whole storyline. And something about Eva Marie, I'm gonna hop on real quick. Eva Marie is not the most fantastic athlete in the world, no. Nobody's ever going to say that she's going to go in there and tie up with all the best of them and put on a 5-star match. But, oh my goodness, if she's not killing this heel just better than you gimmick. Because when she came out and she was owning that entrance in the ramp, making fun of the fans, I was so into her gimmick. So bravo, Eva Marie. But correct decision, Alexa Bliss wins here. And then we had predictively Damian Priest defeating Sheamus to take the U.S. title. Very, very, very hard physical, hard-fought match. Go check it out if you're into that style. Next, we had the Mysterios and the Usos, with the Usos retaining, of course, because you know they're not taking belts off anything associated with Roman Reigns right now. At least, we hope. We'll see. Then we had the SmackDown Women's Championship match. This is where the show got a little weird. We're in the ring, and Bianca Belair comes out to a pretty good pop from Chicago. Or not from Chicago, excuse me, still hung up on AEW. So Bianca comes out, gets a good pop from Vegas, because we were in the Death Star, home of the Raiders. And yes, WWE sold out a football field. Let's remember that. Anyways, we're in the ring, and then it gets announced that Sasha Banks is not in this match anymore. No explanation as to why, no reasoning, nothing given. Carmella's music hits. Carmella comes to the ring. Okay, cool. Match is just about to start, and then out of nowhere, Becky Lynch's music hits. Every fan in the arena, singing along, getting along with it. Becky hits the ring. She's wearing a shirt that says the man's back in Vegas. Becky's looking fantastic. She's looking really lean, and she actually looks smaller than Carmella here, which is a real interesting dynamic here, just physically looking at it. But with that said, everybody's happy Becky's back. Becky dumps Carmella, gets on the mic and says, how about we go one-on-one for Becky, Bianca Belair for the title. Bianca accepts, match starts. And here's where I didn't like it. Becky hits a couple moves. She hits her brand new finish. 1, 2, 3. Winner and new champion, Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair, in my opinion, I don't know all the details. Nobody does other than the people that work there. I would have loved to see a more competitive match from Bianca, especially if she was going to drop the titles. I'm hoping, again, this builds to an actual storyline, which I'm sure it will, and we haven't gotten to SmackDown yet. But it was just weird to see all of this, everything that Bianca's done, the S-Beat, the Fast and Loud, or whatever the concert thing was, the performance that was great. And then just to, Becky's back. Someone put it back on her. Just felt a little weird. I have faith. I'm not giving up on her, obviously. I'm not rage mad that they just hate Bianca. I'm not saying that at all. It was just interesting to see her not have a competitive match. And after this, something I think they tried to kind of help rile the fans back up, and something I'm really excited for, is 2 U.S. Olympic gold medal winners, Gable Stevenson and Tamyra Mensah-Stock, had an entrance. And then Tamyra, if I'm botching that name, killing that name, I apologize, but I am so excited for your future if you are interested in professional wrestling, because you had this natural aura and charisma about you that I was glued in. I was dialed into what you were doing. I was excited to see it. And then Gable Stevenson, he's a monster, period. If you didn't see his comeback in this year's Olympics, again, go watch that now. Gable Stevenson is the closest thing of a Brock Lesnar-Kurt Angle hybrid we could ever have, and I am all here for it. More Gable. Please, I hope he's here full time, and I hope he loves professional wrestling and takes it seriously, because dude oozes potential. Oozes potential. Next, we had Jinder and Drew, and of course, unexpectedly, Drew beats Jinder. Nothing real major here. Women's triple threat for the Raw Women's title. Charlotte Flair wins pretty predictably once again. Same old from the Raw Women's storyline-wise. Charlotte's on top. Now, I think Charlotte is the best women's wrestler I've ever seen. And yes, I remember watching Trish and Lita, and they were fantastic. But Charlotte she's a total package. She can do whatever she wants. There's no weakness in her game. So, is she the best? I think so, yes. But does that mean she should always have the belt and always win every single time? I don't know. And I am a Charlotte Flair fan, so I think this was the correct decision here. But I do think that Charlotte needs a legitimate rival. And I'd love to see Raquel Gonzalez get the call up. So we'll see what happens there. We got to the match of the night next, folks. And again, predictably, this would be the match of the night. But I wasn't disappointed. It did go a little bit long. But when Edge came out to the Brood's music, holy cow, that was cool. The old Ring of Fire, he got to rise from above it. He had the dark glasses on. It was awesome to see. I sat straight up, was dialed right in. It was really cool to see. And then it was kind of a good workaround because there was no pyro on this show for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a Nevada thing, if it was something just in the stadium alone. But there was no pyro in this entire show, which is different for a WWE show. So Edge getting the fire right there, that was really cool to see, and it could skip Edge's big super pyro show moment. So I was all for it. Seth Rollins comes out, cocky as all get out as always. Had super heat. They were booing Rollins pretty heavy throughout the match. Incredible match. Match of the night by far, like I said. I don't like to rate matches because people's opinions are all different, so I don't think anybody's opinion really matters. But if you're going to, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever your system is, great match. A+, they killed it. I was a little intrigued, once again, by the booking decision, by the creative decision to have Edge beat Seth. I mean, I think Seth is on the ride of his life. I like heel. I like the bad guy to win a little bit more. So I don't know. I would have went Seth there personally, but never mattered an Edge win. Edge is again fantastic. Nothing is lost from Seth Rollins losing this match. It's incredible, and it would probably assume that Edge is probably a number one contender moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see where these stories go here. But up until this point, it was a very good SummerSlam. The Bianca Belair Becky Lynch thing was awkward, and then it had kind of lulled a little bit in the fans and kind of found a happy reaction moment. And then we got to Goldberg and Lashley. Goldberg and Lashley was Goldberg and Lashley. Nothing was wrong. Nobody was injured, as far as I know. Winner by referee stoppage was Bobby Lashley. Still the almighty champion. And afterwards, Goldberg's kid gets in the ring and gets slammed down by Bobby. And so it looks like this feud's continuing, and we'll see. Main event, thankfully, was John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Say what you want about John Cena. Lord knows I have. I'm not his biggest fan by any means. But this match proves why John Cena belongs on every Mount Rushmore there is. They didn't do anything special in this match. They didn't do anything crazy creative. They didn't do any flips. They didn't do any dives to the outside. Well, maybe Roman did a dive. Maybe. But anyways, they didn't do today's style of wrestling of super fast-paced things. But man, did they tell a story. For, I want to say, 12 to 15 minutes, John Cena did nothing but roll-ups. To really push forward what he was telling Roman Reigns leading up to this match. 1, 2, 3, it only takes 3 seconds. I can roll you up and win. And it was awesome to see. And then Reigns got on fire. And he started doing what he said he would do. And he just whooped Cena's ass. To see that was incredible. I loved every single moment of it. And the right decision was made. Roman Reigns beats John Cena. And then I became a kid again. I became a little screaming child because as cool as the CM Punk moment was, as cool as the Becky Lynch moment was, something that I honestly thought I wouldn't see. I had no idea. They kept this under wraps fairly well. The man who returned to confront Roman Reigns is a man who has returned multiple times, but they've always been kind of spoiled. And it's also a man that, like him or not, every time he's back, he delivers. Much like Mr. Cena. And this man is Brock Lesnar. And if you're not excited to see the Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns dynamic, again, you're not a fan of professional wrestling. You're just being a hater because Brock's getting paid a lot for being really good. So I am super excited to tune into SmackDown going forward. WWE is on a super high note after some weird decisions, but nothing's perfect because, again, we all like different things in this professional wrestling world. I still think it was a good show. It was a good SummerSlam. Not something I'll remember forever, except for maybe this Roman Brock thing. That could be really cool. And then I'm excited for the RK Bro payoff, and we'll see where that goes. And that's going to wrap up our WWE coverage because, it's SummerSlam. There's no need to dive into the go-home shows. They were all right. Nothing crazy. SummerSlam was great. 2 thumbs up. Check it out. And we're going to dive into AEW right now. And other than, CM Punk being back, AEW is still continuing to put on great shows. Dynamite was fantastic. It really established the fact that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are just truly threats to continue to run everything that they've been doing, the past 6 months, 7 months. They are dominating, and they are so entertaining. Everything they do is just so fun to watch. And this week was really hyping up tuning into Rampage. They were really teasing the CM Punk thing throughout the shows. But something else that they're really pushing right now that I love, it's Christian Cage. Christian Cage feels like a viable threat. Now that he has the Impact Championship, now that he's kind of, teaming with Jurassic Express and they've got their feud with the Young Bucks, Christian Cage really matters. And I just want to say bravo to AEW because I am a Christian fan, but I wasn't somebody who thought bringing him in would be that big of a monumental. I thought it was kind of more like a side wink and like a haha reaction to Edge getting cleared and everything in WWE. So it was almost kind of like a rip-off Edge, kind of had that feel, but it hasn't been. Hell, I even bought a Christian Cage shirt. I am in love with everything they're doing with this man. It's been so perfect, and I am so excited to see Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the championship. I believe it's at All Out. Yeah, it's at All Out, and that's going to be exciting. Also at All Out, that was announced this week. Darby Allin versus CM Punk. He's back. He's going to get right in the ring. And if you didn't hear it, I'll recap some great things he said. Was basically, he kind of shed all over WWE, saying he would never go back there, the place that made him sick. He brought up the ice cream bars at the end of it, getting the whole stadium free ice cream bar, which was kind of cool. And yes, it was real. I had people that were there. I saw pictures. They really got ice cream bars, so that was really cool to see. But the rest of it was, again, hyping up All Out, building the Christian Cage-Kenny feud, building the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express, and building, Andrade Almas and Pac. That match, I am so pumped to see. Now, AAA, we're going to talk AAA here for a second because Kenny Omega and Andrade had a match for the AAA Championship, and by all accounts and purposes, I thought for sure Andrade was going to win that match. I thought Kenny was going to start going crazy, dropping his belts. He dropped to Christian. I figured he'd drop to Andrade, but he didn't. He beat Andrade. So it's kind of interesting to see that, well, AEW didn't acknowledge that, which, I mean, I can't blame them because they want Andrade to still be superior and be something that's super impressive, which he is. But it was interesting to see that he didn't have that AAA. I think that AAA title on his shoulder while he's talking to Pac and with Chav over here, it would have been a cool visual. It's kind of sad it didn't happen. The other thing in AEW that they're doing perfectly right now that I am all on board with is Miro. The God's champion with the double-jointed flexible wife. Miro's awesome right now. He's everything that he should be. He throws the best super kick in the business. I think the Young Bucks should stop at the super kick party, just continue the knees, because Miro's super kick is incredible. Ask Fuego how it feels, because I'm sure he's not a fan of it. And that's going to do it for this week, folks. Short little talk, short little romance, little fun. Not romance. We're not doing that here. That was weird. Not sure why I said it. I'm sorry, but here we are. Thank you for checking out episode 3 of K's Corner Podcast, folks. That's going to do it. Please do what you like to do, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do everything below. And if you're wondering why we're not ending this with a hot take, let me tell you why. I didn't get any. Send me hot takes, folks. If you want to include yourself on this up-and-coming rising podcast, hit me up. I need to hear from you. K's Corner Podcast, Twitter, YouTube, comment, message, subscribe, like, share, do it all. Let me know. You can be a part of the show. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next week.